Welcome back to World of Immersion. Today we're going to be ranking every single ride at Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California from worst to best in 2022. Now Disneyland Park has 35 unique rides and all of them are really incredible, so it was really hard to come up with this ranking, and I'm still unsure of a lot of the different rides and where I put them on the list. That is why I want you to comment down below how you would rank all the rides at the Disneyland Resort so I can see what you guys think as well. Disneyland Park has been one of my favorite theme parks ever since I was a little kid, and my top 10 list has changed so much in the past, and I'm very excited to share with you today how I rank every single ride at the Disneyland Resort. We have quite a few rides to get through in this list, so be sure to stay tuned and watch the full video. We're going to be skimming through a lot of these quick rides in very short intervals, speaking about each ride because of how many we have to get through. But I'll give my reasoning for why I put each ride in each location on the list as best as I can. Also, be sure to check out our other videos ranking rides from other theme parks across the state of California. We have a video up from Knott's Berry Farm as well as Universal Studios Hollywood. Also, be sure to comment any other parks you want to see us rank all the rides from. I'll try to get to as many of them as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like these. And with that being said, let's get right into the video, starting off with number 35 on the list. Coming in at number 35, we have Astro Orbiter. I feel bad putting this ride so low because I really do like it, and I loved it as a kid. But it's just your classic spinning ride. There's not much theming, and yeah, there's not much to it. Also coming in at number 34 is going to be Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Once again, just a spinning ride. The only difference is this one's a little more iconic, which is why I put it a little bit higher on the list. But there's nothing special to this ride. I don't understand why it gets some really long lines sometimes. Coming in at number 33 is going to be Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes. Now, I really never got this ride. I don't know why you would want to go in a canoe in the middle of the theme park, but I guess it is for some other people. But that's why it's so low on the list for me. Number 32 is Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage. I feel bad putting this ride low because it does have some really cool theming, but the claustrophobicness inside of the vehicle is just too much for me to handle sometimes, and the theming doesn't make up for it. Number 31 is King Arthur Carousel. Now this is a really cool carousel. I always love sitting there or riding it at night, watching Fantasyland go by and all the lights. It's a really fun carousel and really iconic ride for the park. Number 30 is going to be Mad Tea Party. Now I usually am not a huge fan of these spinning rides, but this one is so iconic to the park. It's been there forever, and it really is a fun ride, and I love the lanterns above the ride as well. Coming in at number 29 is Main Street Vehicles. I really like riding these Main Street Vehicles, especially in the morning as you can see the crowds walking into the park. It's really fun to just hop on the trolley or the buggy and drive down Main Street. It's a really cool experience. Coming in at number 28 is going to be Storybook Land Canal Boats. This was one of my favorite childhood rides. I love hearing the different stories from the different fairy tales, and always going into the whale's mouth in the beginning is a really fun way to start the ride. Coming in at number 27 is Casey Jr. Circus Train. I love the views you get from this ride, and it's a really fun ride for kids, and even for adults as well. It's just a train ride around, but it's a pretty long ride, and I really enjoy this ride. The wait can be kind of long sometimes. Coming in at number 26 is a ride I'm not a huge fan of, but I do understand the appeal it has and the nostalgia it has for a lot of people. It's a Small World is one of the most famous rides probably in the world, and that's why it's much higher up on the list than some of the other rides. Number 25 is Gadget's Go Coaster. Now this is just your classic family roller coaster, but it does have some cool theming, and it was one of my first ever roller coasters, which is why I put it higher on the list. Coming in at number 25 is the first of Fantasyland dark rides, and I believe it's the weakest. It's Pinocchio's Daring Journey. It can also be a little scary a lot of the time for little kids because some of the animatronics are old and some of the scenes can be kind of terrifying, which is why it's so low. Number 23 is the Sailing Ship Columbia. I always enjoy going around the rivers of America on one of the two boats at Disneyland. It's always fun, especially just going there in the morning with a cup of coffee, going around the rivers. It's a really fun way to start the day. Coming in at number 22 is going to be its twin, the Mark Twain Riverboat. The only reason I put this one a little bit higher is because of the multiple floors, and sometimes there's chairs out front of the boat, which can be really nice to sit on in the morning as you go around. Coming in at number 21 is Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Now this is a really fun interactive ride, and I love interactive rides. And it's a great ride for kids as well. Overall, it's a really cool ride, and I really like its location in the park. Number 20 is Alice in Wonderland. I think this ride really gets overlooked a lot of the time because of the other Fantasyland dark rides, but it's a really cool ride, and it's really intertwined into Fantasyland really uniquely. Number 19 is the classic Disneyland monorail. This is always a really fun ride to do when everywhere in the park is crowded. There's rarely ever a line for the Disneyland monorail, and you can just sit down and relax and go around the Disneyland monorail for a couple loops. Number 18 is going to be the classic dark ride Winnie the Pooh. I love this ride, and it really, really is such a nostalgic attraction for me because Winnie the Pooh is one of my favorite shows and movies as a kid, and I just love Winnie the Pooh. Number 17 is Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. Now this ride is really fun. I love that you're able to spin the vehicles. It really just adds an extra element of fun, especially for kids who like to spin it really fast. Coming in at number 16 is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Now while this ride does not have the most updated effects, and it does not have as updated effects as some of the other Fantasyland dark rides, it's still a really fun ride, and the story is always very unique and fun to see every time. Number 15 is going to be Snow White's Enchanted Wish. Now this ride would have been a lot lower, except it was renovated recently, and I love the Enchanted Wish new theming. It really, really is a magical dark ride now, especially with the finale scene with the lights. Number 14 is Autopia. Now this ride is just your classic driving ride, but there's something nostalgic about this ride at Disneyland, and I really, really do enjoy it quite a bit. Coming in at number 13 is going to be the Disneyland Railroad. Now this ride is just a fun ride to sit down and relax for a while. You can ride it as many times as you want, you never actually have to get off the ride, and it's just really fun. The sets are really cool, the dinosaur scene is really, really fun, and just the views you get from this ride can be so incredible. Plus you can take it around the park if you don't feel like walking, and it rarely doesn't have a very long line, unless you try to get on a New Orleans Square station. Everywhere else you can probably just wait for the next train and you'll usually be able to get on it. Coming in at number 12 is going to be Star Tours. Now this ride I really like. It was the original Star Wars attraction at Disneyland before Galaxy's Edge was open, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, which is why this ride holds so much nostalgia for me and a special place in my heart. Coming in at number 11 is Peter Pan's Flight. Now this is probably my favorite Fantasyland dark ride. It really is so immersive, and it tells the story so well. It's just a little bit of a short ride, which is my only complaint. And now I've entered my top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Jungle Cruise. I am a huge fan of this ride. I love corny jokes, and I just really like this ride overall. It's a really fun ride. The line usually isn't too bad, and riding this at night also just makes it such a better experience because it just feels so dark. Coming in at number 9 is Matterhorn Bobsleds. While this ride is kind of rough, actually it's pretty rough, it still is a really, really fun attraction. It was in fact the first ever steel tubular track roller coaster, which is really interesting. I love going into the mountain, and it's always a scary scene seeing the Yeti every time it goes by. But yeah, I really like this ride, and I think it really deserves to be in the top 10 at the Disneyland Resort. And coming in at number 8 is going to be another roller coaster, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Now I really like this ride. It's a really, really fun roller coaster, and it's even a good coaster for kids because it's not super thrilling, but this theming is some of the best. This is one of my favorite Mine Train roller coasters ever, especially because it's really smooth, unlike a lot of other Mine Train coasters. Plus it has 3 lifts, it's a really long ride, and the line always moves so fast. It's crazy to me how quickly they can make the line move. Coming in at number 7 is one of the newest rides on the list, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I love the interactiveness of this ride. And going with a group of friends and having the entire cockpit to yourself really just makes the ride so much more enjoyable. It can be so fun trying to do as best as you can on the ride and get a better score each time. Coming in at number 6 is Haunted Mansion, one of the classic attractions of Disneyland. This is one of my favorite haunted rides around the world, it still holds up today as one of the best attractions ever. It's not so scary that kids can't enjoy it, but it still gives that little bit of scariness that it can make it a lot more fun to ride every time. And I love all the little details on the ride as well. Coming in at number 5 is Splash Mountain. I am a huge fan of this ride, but I also cannot wait for the new Princess and the Frog ride called Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's going to be opening at the end of 2024. I'm so excited to see new theming coming to this ride. It really did need it. It was getting outdated, but I'm very, very excited. And because I love this layout and the theming just looks like it's going to be incredible. Coming in at number 4 is one of my all-time favorite rides, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is an incredibly long ride. It's almost 15 minutes, and it is by far one of the most immersive experiences you can ever do. The ride just reopened on July 1st, and I still have not had a chance to ride it since its refurbishment, but I cannot wait because I love this ride so much. The line always moves incredibly quickly, and it's just such a fun ride to enjoy all the time, and especially get a break from that hot sun. Coming in at number 3 is Indiana Jones Adventure. This ride is so incredible. It seriously has some of the best theming out of any ride in the world, and it's such a thrilling ride while still being a dark ride. The ride feels like you're going 60 miles per hour when you're barely moving at all because of how cool the ride vehicles are and how much they can move. The scenes towards the end can get a little bit empty, but that initial show scene with the huge room with the fire is just so incredible. Coming in at number 2 is what I would arguably say is the most re-rideable ride in the world, or at least close to it. This is Space Mountain, my favorite roller coaster at the Disneyland Resort. It is just such an incredible ride, and it's just such a fun ride. You can ride it over and over again, and it does not change that initial scene of coming into space, seeing the stars all around you, and the soundtrack just makes this ride even more incredible. I listen to that soundtrack even when I'm not in the parks. Coming in at number 1, this should come as no surprise to anybody, is the newest ride at Disneyland, Rise of the Resistance. The new Star Wars attraction, the e-ticket attraction of Galaxy's Edge. This ride is so incredible. It is a 15-minute long, incredible experience with some of the best scenes and animatronics and sets of all time. It is unlike anything else in the world. This is one of my favorite rides in the world, not just at Disneyland, which is why it comes in at number 1. That's going to do it for our list. Be sure to comment down below what you thought of our list and how you would rank the rides. Thank you so much for watching World of Immersion. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our other YouTube videos. Thanks for watching.